Hi everyone, my name is Kevin. Doing the RPI RFID reader. Last time I told you how is attendance through RFID tags using RPI's student ID cards. It's going to have, or it currently has, a wired and mobile mode of operation so that you can connect it to a computer or have it mobile and record IDs and then download those afterwards. It's based on the Arduino Leonardo, which was just released recently. We had just gotten our boards and I built one, but we hadn't tested it yet. And I showed you a block diagram, circuit diagram, and case designs. This was where we were. We finished PCB layout, ordered the PCBs, assembled them. Case design and case prototype had just been ordered. Those are done. Since then, we've tested the PCB and debugged it. It is working. And we've ported the old code and it is mostly working. Sometimes there's a couple problems. I'm not quite sure where they are, but we're working on it. So that's all done. All that's left is UI design and ID storage for mobile operation. Use on campus was originally planned for EHC attendance and lab logs, so we could see who was in our lab, and if there was anything that went wrong, we could go back and look at the logs and know who was there at what times. We intend this for use by other clubs and the union for other union club meetings, taking attendance, or judging attendance at union events, anything like that, anything you would want to take attendance. We've also been contacted by Professor Connor in the CSE department. He's expressed an interest in using this for taking attendance in his classes, and I just heard back from him this morning. He says, good job.
So he contact yourself or okay, so in fact I wanted to send him an email, but he already contacted you.
Yeah. So
how did he know about this?
I'm one of his advisees, and I can't remember how he heard about it, but he sent me an email, and he said that this was back in spring, probably. So I just updated him last night, and he replied this morning saying, good job, I'm glad to hear it. So he really wants this. And then we also want to use it for RCOS attendance in the future.
So as we see now, we have only 50% attendance rate, and roughly 50 to 60% rate, about ballpark.
So off campus, since it's an open source project and parts and the schematics are easily available, anyone can make this. It's a fairly standard, fairly common access control card, so it could be compatible with a very large number of other access control setups. So things left to do are the laptop side application database for storing the IDs and the names. And we're talking to the card office to see if we can possibly get access to that, and I don't know where it's going to lead or if they're going to tell us we can or not. I would like to see a web interface on the union website for clubs to connect to with their RFID reader and then log into a take attendance application or something like that. Right now, we can emulate a keyboard with the microcontroller, and so we could have it just type into Excel all the IDs and then have it look up all of the names to go with those. And one other option for UI is an application called processing, which is really designed as an easy way to create a program quickly. And what it does is it creates Java applets, but it has a capability for direct serial links, so we can just connect to this, and we can also send commands easily. And I've got a little bit of experience with processing, which is why I looked at it. But I'm sure that there are other...
It's a fantastic program. It's also an open source user interface application.
It was developed
at MIT, but the Impact had a display which they had one Shakespearean display or something that they used to process it.
It's very popular among experimental media artists.
Also the one which they had in the World Trade Center, the display of names, even now it is the display of names across that memorial is done through processing.
Alright, so now I hope that we're going to have a demo. So here's the case from last time. It's all built, and there's the board. It just fits nicely inside it. We got a little switch on here for the battery, which I didn't bring, but it turns it on. And then you can see the lights through it, kind of. same code as last time, just on the new boards and using the new chip. So
let's try. Those two could be cooked up. So I'm going to keep mine. Let's see. If it works on an ancient card, it should work.
And after that day, by some work, you realize that Asher just faked all of his code.
So can I do this?
yeah, go ahead and try it. It might work.
This
Hold it kind of close to it. It's been kind of finicky, so it usually only reads about 5 times before it stops working. Let me reset it.
There are 2 bugs in it that cause critical failures. I don't know where they are or what's causing it.
That's the wrong serial port.
Sounds like a
35.
keep trying.
This ideally shouldn't happen. We're trying to work out the bug. Okay, go ahead and try it. Hold it a little bit on the other side.
Okay, you can.
Kevin Conner.
Nice.
See, there's a difference in being encouraged.
There we go.
Now,
Look at the number on the back of your card. See this printed number right here?
Yeah.
That number is 19480.
Yes.
All right.
And your lucky number is home.
Are there any questions?
Well, it's a question at point. Have you actually talked to the union office about making this a thing for clubs? Because I don't know if you're aware, but certain clubs, like Embedded Hardware Club, and actually all clubs, get additional funds for more members joining the club. So if you had a way of doing that database, they wouldn't just have to trust our treasurer calculations.
That's why I would like to integrate it with the union website. So I'm waiting to hear back from the card office.
Is there, so I know that there are Arduinos with the Ethernet ports on them. Is there like a plan to make a version where you just plug it into Ethernet and so I don't know exactly what would happen past then, but it just works with like your database and
I don't have experience with the Internet Arduino, but the pins are open. And this is only using 3 pins, so everything else is left. So you could add a network interface, and you could make it post its own server, and you could log into that server to access the data or something like that.
Will the shield fit with those 3?
You guys make a new board. Yeah.
You mentioned switch and battery.
All right. The reason I didn't go into this yet is because we currently have no way of logging the cards. It's possible. We just haven't implemented it.
Okay, so it's just so you can log data without read it off the device. Like
That's right. In the future, there's a 1K of EEPROM on here, so we can store about 200 IDs before it fills up its memory. And EEPROM has 100,000 read-write cycles, whereas the Flash has about 10,000. So we're not worried about it losing its life cycle. And the intended use of this is while connected to a computer. It's designed for that. So we hope that you wouldn't use it locally too often, but probably not more than 100,000 times. So the battery's plugged in. It's designed to fit inside the case, and then I can turn the switch on, and it turns on. And then when the battery is plugged in, and I plug it in over USB, this light means that it's charging the battery. So that's all good.
As the person who's going to have to find the funds for future versions of this, how much did it cost to go to one unit?
One of these cost about $50.
And that includes the case,
The case, the board, the battery, and all the parts. Future costs projection puts it lower than that because we only built 3, and you build 50, or maybe 15. Yes.
Does it like flash or anything when it gets a read? So if it was on mobile, you could tell if it actually read the card or not?
It has capability. The code does not do it right now. I actually broke out some pins. My plan was for this whole square to light up whenever you got a good read, but the pins are there. It's also got pins for a speaker, so it can beep whenever you get a good read, but they haven't done it. The capability is there, but not the implementation.
there a particular reason why its range is so low? I mean, I understand the range of this is very good, but you have to get that card like up in there.
Yeah, it's a code problem right now. It's a code problem right now. When we get the raw data, we get groups of like 5 to 8 zeros or ones in a row. And the code right now specifically looks for a specific number, but it could be anywhere from like 4 to 10 based on the range. That's what changes it. So if we can modify that algorithm to work for different lengths, then we should get a rate increase in the read range up to about 1.5 inches. Right now it's like 0.5 inch. It could be better. Alright, if there are no more questions, thanks to
Let me have one more speaker, the last speaker, because he's not going to be here next week, so he's going